Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. What was my name again? Oh yes, Daniel the Adjuster. Thank you so much for following me and watching my videos today. We've got a special program for you today. We're going to talk about what's next as an adjuster. If you've been watching my other videos, look around for the links or whatever. I've been talking about how to become an adjuster. So I wanted to talk just a little bit about who I am. My name is Daniel. I'm an independent adjuster. I've been an adjuster for about 7 years, but I've been working constantly during that whole entire time. Some adjusters work periodically, but I've been working constantly. My goal is to train you on how to be an adjuster. I mean, what? If somebody's out there willing to give you the time of day to teach you how to do this job, I'm going to do it. The reason why I'm doing this for you is because someone taught me. And I just feel blessed by that person. Actually, it was 3 guys that gave me my head start and were there for me, and I want to help you. Stick around. We're going to talk about first steps on how to become an adjuster. A key point there, this is going to be education, okay? Second point is how to get your license. Okay, you can't work this job without being a licensed adjuster. And what licenses do you need? And reciprocity. What in the world is that name? Well, stay tuned to the end of the video. Hang on there. I've got a piece of advice that you will need to have as an adjuster. It will save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars as an adjuster. So please stick around to the end. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking around for this movie, and we are excited to have this video for you and an opportunity for you to learn to be an adjuster. I am going to train you on how to be an adjuster. Now, you'd ask me, well, why in the world would you do that? You have delayed long enough. You have put off this opportunity long enough. You know, I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that sit there and say, yeah, I'm not just quite ready for this. It's going to be a while. Well, no, don't put it off. The opportunity for you to become self-employed is right now. You just have to get off the couch and start the process. And what I'm doing right now is setting up these videos to help you do this. Okay? So don't delay. You're missing out on an opportunity that is right and ripe for you today. Now, I had a question for you. Why are you delaying? Why do you delay? Okay? Are there hang-ups or things that are preventing you from getting started? Well, hey, please leave me a comment right down at the bottom. Just leave me a comment, a question, concern. I'd be happy to go over those things with you, answer you individually for each one of those questions. I had tons of them when I was first getting started, and I really wanted to ask those questions. So, hey, just leave me a comment and I'll get those answered for you. So one of the things people ask me is, why do you feel like it's a good time to be an adjuster? Well, really, I feel like any time can be a good time to be an adjuster because storms happen all the time. Now, hey, I got some research for you. It's killer. So the storms, 2020 was a total mess for storms, okay? We had 30 named storms this year, okay? 13 of those were hurricanes and 6 of those were major hurricanes. What an incredible year. I'm telling you, I felt it this year because I've been so busy. And here we are at the end of the year, and I'm just about wrapping this year up and getting ready to start the next year. It's been a good year. So I've got some other data. I got it from NOAA, which is the National Association for the Weather Service. Basically, they keep track of everything as far as storm predictions and data. In 2020, there were 1,205 tornadoes that touched down. Okay, it's a lot of tornadoes. Hailstorms, 4,590 hailstorms this year. And as far as wind events, there was 15,845 wind events. Now, these are recorded events that are big enough to cause damage, okay? 15,000 wind events. I know I felt a bunch of those this year and stayed very busy. So as an adjuster, you're going to handle all these events, and each one of those events is going to cause work to come your way. So the reason why I think that there's work is because, number one, there's tons of storms. Number two, COVID has caused so many people to be at home more. I can't tell you how many claims I've had from toilet overflows, washing machine breaks, dishwashers, kids playing in the tub, overflowing the tub. I mean, there's so many things going on because people are home more. Well, that's going to create more claims. First part about becoming an adjuster is, number one, you're going to have to get the education to be an adjuster. You know, having a license is important, but I think first and foremost, you're going to have to learn how to do this job. And there is so much information out there that you'll be able to find. So when I got started, I used an online course. Okay, an online course was called an exam prep or pre-licensing course. And the reason why this is important is that you can't just go right in and take the licensing exam. You're going to fail. You've got to learn the information. Now, where I went is I went to a company called Adjuster Pro. Now, Adjuster Pro has not recommended me to do this. You know, haven't paid me to promote them at all. I want you to know that. But Adjuster Pro is just a good company. I felt very confident after I received the information from them, and I just had 2 thumbs up for them. Now, what they did is they had a course. They gave me an exam prep course. They gave me printable PDFs and things that I could use, practice exams. They gave me Xactimate Training. That's going to be the key. That's the software that we use to write every estimate on, is Xactimate. And they taught a lot of roof adjusting information. Big stuff that's really important. That course was about $500 well spent, and I feel like every adjuster needs that to just get started. Now, that's just the beginning. You're welcome to use any course you want. That's just the beginning, but I felt like that was a really good start for me. The second part and most important part to me would be the second part of learning. Just becoming or getting your license does not make you a good adjuster. You're going to have to learn about the house. Okay, you're going to spend a lot of time inside the house. You're going to spend a lot around the house and on top of the house. So maybe you weren't brought up in a construction background like I was, so that's going to be something you're going to have to learn. You're going to have to learn the parts of the house, the fascia, you know, all the names that are part of fascia and soffit and all these things that are part of the names, because if you have to write an estimate, instead of having to, you know, just come up with those names out of your head, you're going to have to immediately know, oh, that soffit up there is damaged, look at that, or that fascia board's damaged, or whatever. So study online. I went to a lot of stuff on YouTube when I was first starting my licensing, just to get ideas of what hail looked like, what wind damage looked like. I knew the houses, so I wasn't really interested in that, but mold, you know, a lot of study on mold and water damage, what water damage looks like on wood floors, sheetrock damage, you know, stuff like that. It was just real helpful, and YouTube was an awesome venue in order just to learn from that. You can also check out my other videos. I've got lots of help also teaching you stuff about that. I plan on going in depth a lot with training as well for that. The next biggest thing is going to be doing your Xactimate training. Okay, Xactware is the company. You can check them out at www.xactware.com, and you're going to want to learn this software. Definitely, Adjuster Pro taught me the basics of that software, but then I went ahead and studied to pass the exams that Xactware has, which is level 1, 2, and 3 of Xactimate. Okay, it's important to have those 2 credentials. I went with level 1 and level 2. Level 3 was not necessary because that's just an expert version of it, of the Xactimate program. But level 1 and level 2 to me was an absolute selling point to when I would contact firms and they'd ask if I knew Xactimate. I was able to say, absolutely, I'm level 1 and level 2 certified. And that was a big plus. Almost every adjusting firm was then convinced that I knew the program. And they are not going to hire someone who doesn't know the program, so keep that in mind. Get certified through Xactware, level 1 and level 2, and you'll be on your way. Well, don't forget to like and subscribe to my video here. If you're finding anything useful, it certainly helps me out. All right, well, how in the world do you get your license? Okay, well, first and foremost, the company that issues the license is called NIPR, and that's the National Insurance Producer Registry. Okay, you're going to find them at NIPR.com. That's going to be pretty much the place you'll go for anything to do with licensing. I'm going to post up a couple things here regarding where you go to get your license. You'll see here you've got a place where you can choose the license that you want to use. That's going to be important whether you're have a home license. Okay, so first and foremost, let's go over that. So designated home license is going to be really important for you to understand. Where you live, depending on the state, there are certain licenses that are required. Some states have licenses, some states do not. Okay, so it'd be important for you to check a list. I've got a list here posted here on the next slide here. A list of states that do not require insurance adjuster's license: Colorado, DC, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Maryland, Missouri, Nebraska, New Jersey, North Dakota, Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Dakota, Tennessee, Virginia, and Wisconsin. Those are the states that do not require a license. Okay, so with that in mind, if you don't live in one of those states, then every one of those states that you live in have a designated home state license. You will have to get that license. So that will be the exam prep that you will have to prepare for and take that license to pass. So there's no point you going off and getting Texas if you live in, say, North Carolina, because North Carolina has a license. You're going to have to take North Carolina. Now, that's important. Get your designated home state license, and then apply for the two best licenses out there after that. It's going to be Indiana or Texas. If you don't live in those states, then I would recommend Indiana. So Indiana is the best state out there to get as far as the second license, is because it allows you to obtain licenses through that state in a word called reciprocity. So I'll go over that in just a minute, but I just want to let you know that that would be your next license that you would want to get. Well, let's talk about this. First of all, if you live in a state that has no adjuster's license, believe it or not, you can actually handle claims without an adjuster's license. So it's kind of weird, kind of a nice feature, kind of scary in some respects that you could work as an adjuster without a license, but just, that some people decide to do that. I wouldn't do that, but personally, that's what they say you can do. You don't have to take a license, and you don't have to take one of the pre-licensing courses in order to operate for that. But anyways, the cost for the licensing is different in every state, so you'll want to go to the NIPR, and it will explain the cost of when you apply for your license. The more licenses that you have, the better off you will be. And the reason why I say that is that when I was working as a desk adjuster, in order to work multiple states or actually be hired by an inside adjuster position or as an inside adjuster position, they did look at my licenses. They looked at the training, but then they also looked at licensing. And they wanted to say, hey, if you got 10 licenses, 15 licenses, 20 licenses, it's important for them to be able to see that, because as an inside adjuster, we'll work many states as far as the claims come in. So the phones come in, you're going to work many different states. You're not just going to work one state. So if you only have 1 or 2 licenses, you're probably not going to get hired as an inside desk adjuster. So when I carry 14 licenses, and typically what I chose, or how I chose the states that I wanted to have those licenses in, is based on what the coastline of the United States created. It basically looked in and went 2 licenses in from every state around the perimeter of the Atlantic, around the Gulf, all the way up to probably I stopped North Carolina and Virginia. Virginia doesn't have one, so that was one that I chose not to. Actually, no, Virginia does have one, but anyways, or maybe it doesn't. I can't remember. Anyways, the point is that I got licenses based on the fact that if a hurricane was to come in, then I would be prepared with that license to be able to go on a storm for those people, and I wouldn't have to apply for it when the storm occurred. Now, people are not going to hire you if you don't have those licenses, especially when a storm event occurs. So definitely look into multiple licenses. Now, the reason why it's important to have multiple licenses is because the United States is your workplace. It's not just the state you live in, unless you only want to be a daily adjuster or somebody who stays local. But sometimes you're not able to stay as busy as you'd like to, and so occasionally when a storm comes, you might want to jump out and head to Texas and do something like that when a big event hits the coast, or Louisiana. That's where you're going to find some extra work. Florida is a big state too, and there's going to be lots of work there. So also being prepared with those licenses, it's going to be important, because emergency licenses are sometimes given. I remember when Hurricane Sandy came in, there were so many people up in New York that were hit with this storm that they were giving out emergency licenses to any warm body that was out there. Not a good thing to do. It's kind of scary because then you're not really prepared for when that event occurred, and so that could be kind of dangerous to rely on that. And then storms that happened in Florida, they actually did not issue emergency licenses, and so you'd be sitting at home when there's a perfectly good storm to work. So I talked about reciprocity. Reciprocity is, it means that an adjuster holding a home state license can successfully apply for a license in another state without having to take that state's exam or a pre-licensing course. Okay, so reciprocity is really important. Now, Texas is a good one, and Indiana really is the best. They both have the same, but some of the disadvantages to Texas is that their process to get you a license takes forever. It's like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I mean, it just takes forever. And then I've sat on hold with them sometimes for over an hour just trying to talk to somebody when I had a question. Well, when I moved to Indiana, I went ahead and changed my home state license from Texas to Indiana. And I couldn't believe I got my license in a week from Indiana. And every time I called, I was on hold only about 10 minutes. So it was totally amazing. So Indiana home license is the best. It does also give you more states as reciprocity than Texas. I think it's about 3 more. Not that you'll use every state, but it's important to know that because if, like for instance, if you had Texas and you wanted a state and it did not work through reciprocity, then you'd have to take that exam in order to get that state license. So I'm looking for the best one that's going to get me the best reciprocity for all the states, and Indiana is definitely it. All right, well, I talked at the beginning that I was going to give you a bonus, okay? So everybody's sitting there with their hands. I'm so excited. What was the bonus? Well, I wanted to talk to you about Xactimate. Okay, so Xactimate is a very expensive program. Okay, so Xactware is a $1 billion company. They're out there just milking it in. I wish I had designed that program. But Xactware charges $300 a month to use their software. Yep. What? Yes, you didn't hear me wrong. $300 a month if you buy it through Xactware. Now here's your bonus. $300 a month. Okay. What are you looking at per year? $3,600. Okay. $3,600 a month to be an adjuster and use that software if you buy it through Xactware. Now, here's your bonus. Okay, so when I got hired through a firm and I made them my primary firm. I worked hard. I wanted to, be the best I could be for them. I also tried to work multiple insurance carriers through them. I got all the training through them. I just really put my foot forward and really tried to work hard with them. Well, they offered me a discount to order my Xactimate subscription through them. Now, that is only $100 a month. Wow, you're like, that's amazing. Yes, think about it. $200 a month I'm saving. That's a $2,400 a year savings by just going through the firm to purchase that subscription. You've got to have it. You cannot work these claims without that subscription. So why in the world would you pay $300 instead of $100? Now, I know a couple other firms are a little bit different, maybe $150. It could be for some of those firms, but I just happened to get on a really good one and they just work well. So that's a bonus, guys. It's tons of money every month. I mean, I've been an adjuster for 7 years. Multiply that by $2,000 or $3,000 savings. That's a lot of money over the long period of time. Just to be able to save that every year for every year that I have that program running. So anyways, I just wanted to thank you guys, first of all, for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you found something important here and useful. And please don't forget to leave me a comment. Remember, tell me any questions. I said that I would answer those questions for you. And feel free to shoot me a line. I'd be happy to help. Again, Daniel the Adjuster, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.